The difference between surface area and volume is surface area is really, if I had to cover it with something, how much of that something would I need? So if I had to cover it with fabric, how much fabric would I need? If I had to cover it with paint, how much paint would I need? Whereas volume is very much how much space does it take up? Or, and you should remember this from science, if I put it in a bathtub, how much water would have to move to make space for it? If I put it in a completely filled up bathtub, how much water would overflow because this thing was in it?
What did you say before? How much space?
That's volume, yeah, how much space is taken up. So I think one of the better examples we have are the orange cubes, and I'm going to take those out in a second. But I'm going to talk about this shape first, because it's probably one of the more important ones to work with when it comes to volume.
That's a cube.
This is not a cube. A cube would have all dimensions the same. This is a rectangular prism. Good. Now it has 3 dimensions to it. What are those 3 dimensions? Mr. Sweeney. Length, width, and height. I don't care whether you put width then length or length then width on the bottom, because effectively that's just taking an object and turning it like this. It doesn't make a difference in terms of what the actual object is. Like if the length, you say, oh, the length always has to be in the front, then what happens if someone turns it like this? It's the same shape, but so it won't make a difference. When we're talking about these things, I don't want you thinking about, oh, sorry, I know almost everyone knows the formula for this. What's the formula for this? For volume? Yeah, length times width times height. And most time you'll see me just write it like this with no x's in between. Length, width, height. Now, I don't want you thinking of right prisms in this way. Just like I didn't want you thinking of this shape as having 6 sides, I wanted you to think of this shape as having a top and a bottom, or a base and then a matching shape, and some big rectangle folded around it. Remember that? We talked about thinking about it that way. I don't want you thinking about these shapes. I still want you thinking about these shapes that second way, where it's a base, a matching top, and one single shape that folds around it. So, looking at that, I want you viewing it as a base and a matching top. I think I probably just said that, so it probably got recorded twice. With a certain height. So looking at this formula, which part of this screams, I'm considering this as a base? Which part is the base? Go? Yeah, this part. This part's length times width, that's base. Like, it's the area of the base. And then still times height. Make sense? Yes? Length times width is just the area of that square right there, or that rectangle right there. And then I'm going to multiply that by the height, and that gives me my volume. That tells me how much space this thing takes up. Oh, you're getting ahead of me. Woo. It's disorienting. So knowing that, the next logical question is what? Find the volume of a cylinder with your friends next to you. Oh, I wish I hadn't done it like that. Undo. Oh, it's not going to work.
You can just erase it.
Yeah, that takes time. So, whoop, 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 whoop. With your friends, people next to you, tell me the area, or sorry, the volume of a cylinder formula. Go. So as groups, who came up with a formula that they think is the volume of a cylinder? And you need to also be able to tell me what you were thinking while you came up with it. Start with, I know he's right, so I'm going to come to you later. Start with Chloe. Start with Chantal.
You can say it.
Pi r squared h. Any votes for pi r squared h? So everyone's votes are pi r squared h. That's excellent news, because it's right. Who can explain why? I'm going to get someone else, even though you were the one who came up with this one specifically. Everyone else clearly came up with it as well, so I'm going to get them a chance to explain it. Let's go Sweeney. So what part's the area of the base? Pi r squared is the area of a circle, so that's the area of the base. And then times height is that. That's a perfect explanation. That's exactly it.